Dear ladies and gentlemen, hearty greeting from Slovakia, small country in the heart of Europe. We were 40 years in communism, totalitarian communism. Now we are 30 years free, with various problems, but free, fantastic. I'm Jozef Mikloško, old man, 81. We are with my wife 56 years together. We have 4 children, 12 grandchilds, and 6 grandchild. There is small mafia of Slovakia, also in politics, and Mikloško's company. I was 27 years mathematician, and then after revolution, Velvet Revolution in 1989, I was in federal government as a vice premier. Then I was in all 3 parliaments, Slovakia and Czechoslovakia, and also 5 years ambassador Slovakia in Rome. Now I'm a writer. I wrote 8 books, literally books, and always I mean in my book also LaRouche, because my remembering for LaRouche are really very, very strong. If you allow me, then I shall try now speak my experience with Lyndon LaRouche. I became familiar with Lyndon case in 1990 when I was, after Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia, 2 years vice premier of human rights in post-communistic federal government. I quickly understood the many irregularities of his political persecution. It was a tragedy that at the time of the fall of the Berlin Wall, when it was possible to change the history, Lyndon LaRouche was in jail. I could not watch his forecasts about the West and East be fulfilled. I met him for the first time in August 1993. I had never met such educated, creative and modest person. He was a politician, economist, mathematician and musician with a great knowledge of history. He had perfect knowledge of Bible. He introduced Christian moral principles to politics and economics. He was a fighter for moral renewal and the saving of Christian civilization. I always surprised about his knowledge about Mozart, about Beethoven, about supercomputers, calculation of elliptic function, which was numerical my job, the situation in Eastern Europe, Russia, China, about religion and concrete economic project, the protection of life, culture and education. His speeches left no gray area. Compromise with evil was not possible. Lyndon was a hard fighter, but also had humor and tenderness when speaking about love, about agape and God. He was a generator of new ideas and associations which were alternatives for the present world system. His political program was the need to produce, not speculate. Moral principles must be established in politics and the economy. His proposed alternatives to reform the financial system. He predicted a crisis, especially due to the destructive impact of derivative speculation. Printing money with no backing in the United States and Europe today is called quantitative easing. Interest rates are being lowered and money pumped into the old system in area of crisis. Bad banks are being rescued and the current financial system has been torn away from a productive economy. I have visited the United States 6 times because of LaRouche movement. I have lobbied in Congress, in Senate, in universities, and on many conferences. My old American friend Nina Ogden from Schilling Institute, whom he always accompanied in America, is not anymore with us. She became Christian. She had a personal contact with Mother Teresa from Calcutta. Mother Teresa in this time said her, "We are praying every day for Lynn and Helga." Lyndon LaRouche was sentenced for nothing on December 1st, 1989, in political process to 15 years in prison. His 5 associates, a total for 209 years. The trials of him and his colleagues in the late 80s had so many irregularities that the broad international community, this time including myself, protested many times against it. I wrote several letters of protest to top US leaders. I visited the US repeatedly with former politicians and several countries. I visited also most guarded American prisons where LaRouche collaborators were imprisoned. I'm proud that I too contributed to his parole in 1994 and later to the release of the entire Virginia Five. Mike Billington, Anita and Paul Gallagher, Lawrence Hecht, and Donald Faw. I remember especially a meeting with Mike Billington, sentenced to 77 years, before also his brave wife jail. Both visited also Slovakia, as also our town St. George, Svet Jur, and they were here in our church, and my son and daughter, sang them Ave Maria from Gounod. We have many pictures from it. Our friendship with Lynn began in August 1993 at the prison in Rochester, where I visited him. For him, a sentence of 50 years was a death sentence. He met me in prison with a smile and optimism. We spoke for 6 hours. In December 1993, I attended the conference of the Schiller Institute in Germany. It was before Christmas, many lights shone, and we waited with painful anticipation for his freedom. I am proud that I was probably the first person on the earth to know that Lynn would be free. Our next meeting was in February 1994, United States. Amelia Robinson, big fighter for human rights, welcomed him with the words, "This is the day which was given us by the Lord. If God selects somebody as a leader, nobody can destroy him." We also stood with long applause, and Lynn said, 5 years in jail was a long time. It was necessary to suffer, but we are now stronger. The main power is the power of ideas. We must lead an American revolution to the end of the authority of truth. I'm very glad that in August 1994, Slovakia was the second country after Russia that Lynn visited following his release in 1994. We met in Smolensk Castle, house of Slovak scientists. There are many pictures about it, hundreds, and 120 young people from 70 countries of the world showed that mankind can tend toward unity. I remember the tears in Lynn's eyes when at the fire we sang folk songs from all over the world. I was proud when he told me, "In Slovakia I spent one of the most beautiful, happiest weeks in my life. In May 95, I met Lynn in Leipzig in Germany at the concert of the boys of the Thomanen Chor. In this historical cathedral of Bach, which, while listening to the singing of these boys, educated on Lynn's principles, I saw tears in his eyes for a second time. Then Lynn and Helga went to see Beethoven opera Fidelio in Berlin, in which another heroic woman freed her husband from the prison. Our next meeting was in Washington in September 95 during the hearing. It was investigation of the misconduct of the Department of Justice. With a committee representing about 15 million black voters in the United States, we fought for the exoneration of LaRouche and for the freedom of his 5 collaborators still in jail for long sentences. The case was referred to the International Tribunal of Prominent Judges and Lawyers, for example, by Ramsey Clark, a former US Attorney General in Johnson government. The Commission concluded that there had been a gross abuse of inquiry and criminal violence in this process. Lynn, at the following Schiller conference, said, "Man is created as imago viva Dei. This is a quality which can be seen in the eyes of each newborn child, the quality which makes brothers and sisters of all people." At a conference in the United States in 1996, after I asked him a question publicly, Lynn began a beautiful speech about God as the highest goodness. The same situation occurred later in Wiesbaden, where Lynn spoke for almost 3 hours. The new wine I bring cannot be in old skins. The culture of that is a scandal. We must start a new revolution based on love toward our neighbors. Lyndon LaRouche, the Sakharov of America, was a politician with original views. Many of his ideas are today widely accepted and represented by many people. On the second visit of Slovakia in 1996, he wrote to me, "Slovakia is a happier country than others. She has a sense of spiritual values, has not lost her national identity. She needs honorable leaders." Lyndon LaRouche was a universal educated man. After I have often been actively present at debates in which he has answered dozens of disparate questions. He was a Christian who spoke with enthusiasm about his faith. When Lynn was 75 years old, in September 8, 1997, a gala was held in the United States for prominent singer, musician, and politician. I was the master of this ceremony, and I probably, till my end of my life, never been in such a society of big personalities. Lyndon LaRouche was an American politician, an economist, mathematician, writer, and musicologist. I hadn't met a more educated person in my life. He has written dozens of and thousands of articles. He was a generator of new ideas, a warrior to save Christianity, family, and life. I've met him 17 times, including 3 times in Rome when I was ambassador of Slovakia for 5 years. In my book, Very Top Secret, How We Were Free, probably I can I can show this book here for a while. Yes. He was published in 1999. I devoted about 80 pages to him and to the result of Schiller Institute. At the end of my speech, I'm glad to introduce some LaRouche important spiritual ideas. Man is created in the image of God and has highly positive words. Everything is decided in childhood. Children need to be brought up to learn creativity by discovery. Today, no one has time for children. The television and the internet is depressing. By protecting the family, we protect society. The main things in the knowledge of classical music, history, mathematics, and religion. Money, counterculture, and borderless freedom produce people in United States for prisons. Compromise with evil and tolerance for evil must end. Commentary on lies is a lie. Let's start a revolution on Christian law without thinking about ourselves like a Samaritan. What is the goal of the man? You come into the world like an angel. You should leave the world like also an angel. On the end, I will tell that honor memory of Lyndon LaRouche, and I hope for his fast exoneration and rehabilitation. All the best. I'm sorry that my English is not so good as before. I'm a little bit better in German, in Italian, in Russian, but my words were from the heart, and I really very much remember to the end of my life from memory of Lyndon LaRouche. Thank you very much.